Hello YouTube, this is Silver Age Dave. It's Friday. I am attempting another live stream. We'll see if anyone shows up to be part of this. Last week I attempted this and I got snafu'd. I was told by a few people that there's an issue with the iPad going live. And hello, hey Knights of Old, you're in here. How you doing, buddy? You're one of the many people I want to talk about. I'm trying to beat the system today. Last week I tried a live stream and it didn't go to plan because, and hopefully the sound's okay and the picture's okay. Hi everybody. I got snafu'd because I understand everything was backwards. And so what I did, I walk away from problems and my mind works. And so hopefully everyone's seeing everything, the right direction. Is this stuff backwards for you guys? Hey, Matilda, is this week's live stream better, Matilda, than last week? You can read everything, right? Is it okay? Let me know. Well, anyway, I want to get on with it. I have a bunch of stuff to talk about. If everything's clear, you guys are able to see. I'll put a comic book up. You guys are able to see this stuff, right? Oh, look at that. We're beating the system, guys. So last week it was all backwards. Who dat, Russell, and a handful of other people told me that if you're using an iPad, then everything's going to be backwards. Well, I figured it out because I am a little bit of a MacGyver. So I got it figured out. This is cool. My issue is I might have trouble reading the chat, but I'm going to do my best. So this book is a book that I received. I was at on the Big E's auction, and Erod had this up, which I have wanted a copy of this for a long time. My son has this poster hanging out on his wall, and I thought, boy, if I can get an affordable copy. So this is just a big shout out thanks to Big E's. He also had this book with it. This Master of Kung Fu, number 15. Hey, there's Miss Hustle. And so I bid on these two books. I thought I got a great price. And lo and behold, what does Erod do? Erod also sent this, which I don't think this was part of it. But that Big E's and the New York Warriors, I've bought a couple of books from them over time. I've always been really happy. And to send that, a 10-cent beautiful Superman. It's got a great date stamp on it. So that's just a bonus free book. Are you kidding me? That's beautiful. So big shout out. Thanks to them. Before I get into the Boy Who Had 7 Talks comic stuff. Hey, Comic Book Brigade, look at you, buddy. I'm having trouble reading what you guys are saying because I've got poor vision and I've got a system here so that you guys get to see everything straight. I wanted to talk about YouTube the last couple of weeks, specifically Monday into Tuesday. And I hope I don't leave anyone off, but it kind of started for me with, ETA Nick. He's my everyday guy. I watch him a lot. And After Comics had a thing, Go To Geeks, all the regulars that you expect regular videos from. But Knights Old, you're one of the guys that was in there. I think you had a Tuesday night or maybe a Wednesday. It was like a perfect storm, 24 hours of YouTube. And I was just so happy. Night Tiger had a thing. Simon Comics is a new YouTuber. If you guys aren't subscribed, the kid is just tearing it up. He's got an incredible Golden Age collection. Rags 718 is trying to do daily videos, and I think he's killing it. Mr. D had a thing, and Alfred 83 today. They had these 50 comic books in your collection. I'm loving those. Metarog and Area 51. Area 51, if you haven't seen, he's got that robot fighting thing, which I think is awesome. Bubs with DS, his live show with Metarog was incredible. So it's really been an awesome week of YouTube for me. I haven't been making as many videos, but I want to do a shout out. Boy Who Had 7 Talks Comics. His thing ends today. So I had some of my week's comic haul that I want to talk about, and then I'm going to get into his thing. But this week, this was one of the freebies that that came with you know, your comic shop news. And I thought it was funny how he had here the takeoff on Electric Horseman and the Willie Nelson song, "My Heroes Have Always Been Junkies." And so I wrote comic book in there, and I was thinking of Don, the comic book junkie, who's always killing it. So that's terrific. And then these were, I was telling Bad Avenger, I didn't spend a lot this week on comic books, so I just wanted to show you guys. It was so hard because I love that Middleton Batgirl. I didn't get a copy of it. I do plan to own one. I liked it. I don't care what anyone else thought. I thought it was a cool cover. But I did pick up this Beyonders. Jim Comics, who I think is just the greatest guy. He thought this is something, so I bought that cover. And let's see here. And then I picked up this Venom #5. This was from the week before, but they held it for me. So all I spent the week before was that one Venom book. And then I grabbed 2 copies of the Fantastic Four cover. I grabbed a copy of Bone Parish #2. And I grabbed this X-23. So I'll tell you what, when I can get out of a comic store for less than 20, 25 bucks, that's a win, okay? But what I want to do now, we got 6 people watching. Hopefully maybe a few more people show up. It's kind of a weird time for a live stream. I want to talk about my favorite story arc. Now, rather than me going super old school, I thought I'd be Captain Obvious here, and I'd go with something newer, but it really is an incredible story arc, and it's a long arc for me. And I just pulled out these trades here. Walking Dead. I never thought in a million years I would be a fan of The Walking Dead. I didn't watch the show. I thought, man, I'm not going to watch zombies. There's no weird time for it. Thank you so much, Miss Hustle. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought I'll just go live with it, and maybe some people will watch, or, you know, it's Friday. You want to kill a little bit of time. So all that's between us and the end of this is my battery power, which is probably low on the iPad. But Walking Dead for me was just an incredible thing. I got really sick like 3 years ago, and I was just running out of TV to watch because I've got a VCR and a DVD player, but I don't own a lot of movies. So we got, I think, Netflix, and I started binge watching this. And I was so taken with the way they portrayed in film this series. But the comic book is the part that I love. And really the arc for me, hey, there's PMC. How you doing, buddy? Poor Man's Comics, thank you for showing up. This story arc for me, starting with issue #1, I thought, you know, they could have done a lot of backstory on it. There's a lot of comic books like, well, I won't go deep into it, but there's a few of them out recently, and they want to do all this backstory. They want to tell you all this stuff. And Walking Dead did a great job of just falling right into the story. They had me from issue 1. And as you're going through the series, I thought Rick found his family fast, but that's just tremendous. Hey, Weapon X Squall is in here. So I thought they did an incredible job of just diving into it. I think so many of the newer series, they want to give you all this backstory. They want to give you all this information. And Walking Dead, I mean, all the time it's been in motion, and we still don't really know the backstory on what happened, which I think is incredible. That's how a comic should be. Get my attention and keep my attention. And so moving through Walking Dead, I'll spoiler alert this. I'll try not to do spoiler alerts, but really all the way through the governor, you know, when they found the prison, they took that over, and all the way through here. This is trade. It's their #7, and I don't know what issue that works out to. It's, you know, probably in the 30s somewhere. But all the way, for anyone who's watched the show or read the books, all the way to this part where the governor shows up with a tank and all this. I thought the story arc of Walking Dead held my attention so well. Oh, Miss Hustle, you're missing out, and I'll try not to spoiler alert. But what's interesting is it's different from the show. The TV show parallels it in a lot of ways, and then in a lot of ways it moves off on its own. And so really for me, reading the books was what was odd, you know, because I did love the show. I get into the show, and it's gotten, in my opinion, off track a little bit. Not trying to be political. I think it pushes some things that that I don't think it needs to do. Maybe just that Hollywood, you know, stuff. But that being said, I still like the show. I hope it's making a comeback. And you know what I'm going to try to do while we're playing? I'm going to try. We'll see if I have this pulled up. And maybe I can read the chat that way. I should have thought of this a few minutes ago, guys. Hopefully everyone's week's going well. Is anyone doing anything awesome for Labor Day? I am. I mean, I don't know if it's awesome, but I'm doing something. Let's see here. How do you work this darn thing? My channel. Ooh, there's live. Let's see. I'm going to turn. Yes. Hey, there's the chat. Yeah, you know what? The combat. Now I'm seeing it. This is awesome. So poor man. Hey, there's Bad Avenger. I was just talking about you, buddy. So what I did, I want to share this with you guys. I rigged up a system. Last week I tried this live stream, and apparently everything was backwards. Okay, let me show you what I mean. Everything was like this. Okay, and what I was told is that if you're using an iPad to do live stream, it makes it backwards. And Who Dat does it, a handful of people do it, and you just see the books backwards. I was showing off the Crack House stuff, and so what I did is I ran over to Meijer store. It's kind of like a you know, Target or Walmart by us, and I went and I bought this mirror. It's this really big mirror, and I thought, well, if they're going to reverse me, then I'm just going to reverse them right back. So see, and I think that's pretty slick. See, look at that, right in the mirror. So that's what I'm doing today. But mostly what I really wanted to do today was I wanted to support Boyhood7 Talks Comics. He's got this contest going on. It ends today, so anyone who wants to send him a comment, you can be entered in the contest with just a comment. And so all you got to do is go from here. Obviously, I don't have links yet because it's live. That is clever. Yes, sir. You know what? I talked about this in the beginning. I try to MacGyver things a little bit. And if someone tells me I can't do something, I try to do it. And I'm going to make things work. So so that's what we're working on. So anyway, so the boy who had 7, impressive YouTuber. If anyone isn't familiar with him, he actually has 7 kids. So that's where the boy who had 7 Talks Comics, that's the background on it. I just checked him a few minutes ago. He's at 484 subscribers, and he's got a great contest, great prizes. You know, generally, I don't think most of us enter these things for the prizes, but you know, it's always nice when someone's doing a community support video. And I also want to mention Metarog extended his deadline to the 13th. Matilda extended hers to the 11th. And there's a new channel. I'm going to stand up and grab this tag. I didn't know about this channel. He reached out to me. I think he's buddies with Farley's Nerd Cave because of albums. Andy's Vinyl Den. He does a lot of record albums, but he also has comic books and Dungeons and Dragons, and he's got a contest. I'll add this into the contest roundup starting next week. And then, you know, people will know about it. Super good guy. I think he's in my general age bracket. I imagined you with a mustache, Mr. Dave, for some reason. Holy moly. It just so happens I have mustaches right here. If I put my face on camera, I would put one of these on for you, Matilda. Isn't that funny? Yeah, no, I'm not a mustache guy, so I don't have a mustache. I must have been on screen enough where you saw that. Yeah, you always got to keep some fake mustaches around. That's my motto. Isn't that funny? Put on the square one. That's great. So, guys, I don't know. I don't have that much to talk about. You guys want to see some Crack House books? I could show a couple of those while my battery lasts. Let me see what I got in my box here. I don't know. You know what? I'm not going to show the Crack House stuff. Let me just grab some books. I got some boxes I've never shared with anyone, and I'm just going to pull some out, and we'll just see what's what. There's just a stack of comics. These are from a collection I bought from a local lady. We go to the same church, and her husband was a comic book collector way back when. And after he died, these books sat and sat and sat for the longest time. And she finally, she reached out to me, and she said, oh, Doom's doing a contest. Okay, I'll have to check that out. What if it wasn't a crack house at all? How rude to the people. No, it was a crack house. Yeah, no, there's no doubt in my mind that was a crack house. But you know what? They weren't violent, or I was too big. I'm a pretty big guy. You know, I'm over 6'3", and I'm over 200 pounds, and maybe not what they expected. Yeah, Haunted Tank is awesome. Did anyone happen to see ETA Nick's video? He had the first Haunted Tank. He was showing that off. That was pretty awesome. So these aren't in any particular order. I ended up buying like 6 or 7. Could you show some books that are not the big 4? Well, here you go. Yeah, Enemy Ace is awesome. You're right. This is just a mixed. I probably bought a few thousand comics from the lady. I did not pay a whole lot. And they were all bagged and boarded. It's still, all this time's gone by, I still want to bag and board them, but never have. Hey, Nerd versus Fat, how you doing, man? So she approached me and she said, Dave, I know you like comics. I've got all these comics. Would you like to buy them? And hey, Don, comic book junkie, I was just talking about you, pal. You probably got one of these yesterday. And I changed mine so that I think about you all the time. Look, I added that on there for you, Don. Hope you like that. Comic book junkies. So anyway, so she had all these books, and this is just, like I said, I keep these here, and it's one of the collections I haven't acclimated yet. I want to, and I'm acclimating all the collections I've bought over the years into, basically I'll have one alphabet. It'll have everything in it. But this one is kind of sentimental for me. And so I haven't done these yet. These just sit and I keep them together. Someday I'll do them. But he had, you know, Fantastic Four. He had Amazing Spider-Man. I mean, you name the title. He had a little bit of everything. But the thing that I always love, am I showing these too fast or too slow? Why do they look so perfect? Because this is a guy that bought these and put them in bags. I mean, back in the you know, 60s and 70s, and they were all very well taken care of. Out of the thousands of books that that I bought from them, because I paid up a little bit, because I knew the lady well, and now that being said, I did not pay very much per comic. You know, she took very good care of me. Hey, Pope Grimy, how you doing, buddy? Sorry I missed your show last night. I was wiped out, man. They got a great live show they do, and I try to catch it on Wednesdays or Thursday nights. Yep. And so anyway, so this collection came to me, and it was thousands of comics, and they were just beautiful. Well, she happened to have maybe a long box and a half full of Archies, like the really old, the nice 12 centers, just perfect. And as much as I don't like selling comics, I knew a lady in California. Now I'm in Ohio, but she was in California. Her son had died, and she was a big Archie fan. And I sold her one full long box of Archie comics. I mean, they were incredible. And basically, I took very good care of her. And I know she appreciated them, and she loved reading them. But I kind of, you know, I don't mind selling books when it's that type of situation. And so that helped me defray a little bit the cost that I put into these guys. So here's some early Son of Tarzan. These are not bagged. That's kind of nice. They need to be bagged. Anyway, we're coming up on 20 minutes. I don't know. I didn't have a whole lot. I wanted to talk about the TBWH7. Today's the last day. You can enter that contest with just a comment. So anyone out there who hasn't supported him, he's a good guy, good community member. Look at those beauties, huh? What should I do, guys? You want to see a few more before my battery runs out? Look at that cover. The gloss is nice. Dead Clone, it's incredible. Old collections like these. Let me grab some. I got a couple boxes right here. And what was cool is the son was also a collector back in the day. So he had stuff that was a little different. What number is the Donald Pyramid cover? Oh, lordy, lordy. I don't know. You know, when I rebag and board, I always put the information on there. It says 1966 down here. So it's July, I would think, of 1966. It's a 12 center. That seems right to me. What do you guys think? Oh, what's the oldest book I have? I don't know. Let me think on it. I have some old Superman. Now I did buy a book today. It's a Golden Age. I think it's a 1946 double cover, and no one saw it. It was on eBay, and okay, I got a phone call, and I thought I lost you guys. So I picked that up today, which was kind of cool. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that Bad Avenger. So I don't know if I have books in the 30s. I hate to sound not smart, but I just don't remember what I have. Most of what I have is really going to be 60s and 70s. That's the stuff that I'm always drawn to. I think the colors are incredible. Hey, Gamma Comics, how you doing, buddy? And then he had a lot of these Go-Go check covers, which anyone who knows me knows I love the Go-Go checks. I just think it's such an incredible time. As big a failure as that was for DC, I don't know if the failure was so much that people didn't like the covers or that people just weren't happy with the books. So anyway, this section of comics, this is, as I had mentioned, this was from a lady named Dorothy that lives right near me, and we go to the same church. And I mean, I think I might have paid a buck a book if we really whittled it down, probably a lot less. She had a Fantastic 452. There were some other real solid power books in there. So, hey, Eric K. So, you know, whenever I buy a collection, if I see a couple of keys in there, then what I say to myself was I paid retail for that, and then the rest of the stuff I got for 25 cents or, you know, whatever it worked out to. You know what, Bad Avenger, my oldest daughter, Gwen, loves, I've got her hooked on any of the Gwen books. She loves anything with Gwen, and I buy everything for her, but she has bought a few comics. My older kids, not as much, but my youngest two, they are comic book nuts. They love them, and I take books home all the time. You know, if I get junk copies or reader copies of stuff from the 70s, a lot of collections I buy are just trashed, and I tell people, you know, I can't give you a lot, but they're going to go into kids' hands who are going to read them and love them, and so those little guys are gonna love books. Hey, Comic Tom. I think they're going to be big time. They know all the heroes, all the villains, and because I'm giving them old school books, they're understanding the old school stuff. And I think someday when my days are through, I think I always laugh. I say, well, then the kids can kill each other over who gets what. You know, they'll each get a Hulk 181 God willing, and then, you know, after that, they can just sort it out. So that one's kind of cool. Charlton 66 would probably be able to tell me all about it. None of the books in this collection, I haven't read one book in here. These have been sitting in boxes for years, waiting for me to come along and bag and board them. I think if I stopped buying comics tomorrow, I think it would probably take me 10 years to read all the stuff I've picked up. I mean, July was crazy for me. August was absolutely insane. I'll bet I bought over 3,000 comic books just in August. I mean, it seemed like I kept getting phone calls from collectors that were wanting to thin things out, and it even came to a point where I told some people, I'm really not buying right now. You know, I'm trying to slow it down. I'm not trying to speed it up. Do your kids help with bag and boarding and sorting through collection you buy? Not yet, they don't. I think the older kids, I would trust them. But you know what? I'm real specific in the things that I do. And you know, if you want it a certain way, you know, that's how it is. The grandkids do. Yeah, Bad Avenger. Isn't that funny? But they're seeing what you're doing. And of course they would have the bug. Aren't these great, these little monster books? Buying the comics and not reading them, it's a tease. You know, it really is. But what ends up happening is the books come along and I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop buying and I'm just going to, you know, work on these and work through them. And then like the next week I'll get a phone call. And I mean, it's gotten to a point where I really don't want to buy comics right now, but I have to. It's incredible. Hey, Renee, you know, again, I've said this for a long time, you know, on YouTube, is I'm not finding the books, they're finding me a lot of times. And even if it's books that it's a second or a third or a fourth copy, it comes a point where the price is just right and I can't say no. It's almost like I can't walk away. Hey, Ethan, how you doing, buddy? I see Geeky GMT in here, one of the nicest guys. I think we could have a battle if we had Geeky GMT and Rayman together. You'd have a toss-up on who's nicer. You guys are great. I mean, yeah, isn't that great? I mean, these the square bounds are nice to find, and this one's, you know, a little beat up. It's certainly a reader copy, but it's still something I wouldn't mind reading. I don't know. You guys want me to keep going? Here we got the showcase. Hey, the boy who talks 7 is here. Look at that, buddy. This is your support video. I was running out of time and I didn't want to forget about you. So you're the man of the hour. Anyone who's keep going. You know what? My battery on my iPad is probably running low, but I'll keep going and it'll just end abruptly, right? So thanks guys for being here. I'll keep going with these. So Boy Who Had 7, you get 1 entry for just a comment. So anyone who has a chance, check out the Boy Who Had 7 and give him a comment on his contest, because contests are hard work. Comic Book Brigade, that's another one. If you're still in here, Vic, Comic Book Brigade did a great contest like a month or so ago, and really did not have many entries. It's almost like Carl and Base did a great contest and didn't get any entries. And so, you know, those guys specifically, if you get a chance, and I'm going to shout them out again. I do every now and then. We're all one big happy community. It's nice to support each other, and you know, contests are so hard. There you go. Yeah, you guys sub him up. You can just, basically what you can do, I'll try to show this, is if you want to sub him up, you just click on his little icon right there, boom, and it takes you, it says go to channel, boom, and then you just hit that little subscribe thing. It's that easy. And then see, I'm still down here, so you haven't lost silver. All right, so all's good. Nice job, Captain Cola. So yeah, so this collection came along, and it was just a kind of a gift from God. I mean, the books were in such nice shape, and it was someone I knew, and you know, she took care of me, I took care of her, and we see the family, you know, at church, not every Sunday, but we bounce around. We go to different masses, so it's always nice, and they know where their book. They're happy with that. So there's Metal Man. Man, 30-minute live stream. I try not to go over 10 minutes. This is crazy. Yeah, that's what I try to do. I try to museum this stuff. All right, tell you what I'll do. Let me grab a couple more RAM ones out of here. And I hit a little section of the box with some cool stuff. And we'll finish there. That way, maybe you guys will have a reason to come back and see me next time. You'll say, maybe he's got some more books. Hey, there's Bueller. Hey, if anyone didn't see it, Bueller Tuesday, I was talking early in this video about Tuesday to Wednesday was like a perfect storm of awesome YouTube videos. And Bueller had a Web of Spider-Man thing he did where he was showing all the keys. He did a lot of research on it. He was right in there with that mix of great Tuesday videos. So check that one out if you haven't seen it. The Price of Silver. Ah, there you go. So this House of Secrets was in there. He had a whole bunch of these, but these are my kind of covers. Okay, when I'm thinking about what kind of cover I love, I showed off that Buana Beast the other day for Matilda and for Farley's Nerd Cave, and I just think there was something in the Golden Age or late Golden Age when you had these monsters and these creatures. I mean, look at that. If the bag was a little better, it'd be clearer, but some of these need rebagged. I mean, look at these guys. That's what sold comic books back in the day. I mean, I will buy this stuff 100% of the time. It's just incredible stuff. Oh, and then he had this Fear. Up until recently, I've purchased 1 million copies of number 18. I've purchased 1 million copies of number 20. I've never seen a copy of 19 in the wild till recently. I just finally had a copy of it I picked up with number 19 in it. So that was nice. I promised myself I'd never buy one on eBay or at a comic store. I wanted to find one, you know, floating around out there from a collection. There's 19. So this whole section here came out of one collection. As a lot of you already heard, Lady Dorothy, her husband had died quite a while back, and they just felt comfortable basically giving them to me. I mean, I paid for them. I paid a lot of money, but in the long run, I really paid nothing for the collection. They were very, very generous with me. They wanted to keep Dad's books together. They wanted to know where they went. So ultimately, you know, these things came to me. I've got a bunch of long boxes full of stuff like this, and it was all cared for. I mean, most of it was red. Most of it's going to have little spine ticks, but for the most part, they were put into plastic right away. So if, you know, if you're a Green Lantern or a Green Arrow person, this is certainly, you know, great stuff to have. And in this 80-ish group, there's a lot of solid books in here. Yeah, thanks. They are gorgeous. I love them. I'm just going to finish this little stack here, and then we're going to call it a day, gang. Or I'm going to call it a day. You guys keep doing what you do. You're doing awesome work. So this is an embarrassing statistic. The other day I got an alert from YouTube. Guess how many hours a day I am averaging watching YouTube? I mean, I couldn't even believe it when I saw it. 5 hours and 39 minutes. And when I saw that, I thought to myself, certainly I'm falling asleep at night and YouTube is playing. It goes into autoplay, but I don't know if that counts. It's insane. All right, here we go, number 84. That's always been a favorite cover of mine. I think that's really cool. That is a lot of hours. I don't know how I do it. I mean, I come to work and sometimes I'll have them playing and I'm doing work. There's the famous heroin issue. I'll come to work and so I'm listening, you know, and when someone does a live show, I'll listen in. Yeah, Eric, you're right. I don't sleep a whole lot. Doubles on the heroin issue, which was kind of cool. And I think Thanatos on an early contest did this as a social justice issue. Look at that big stack of comics I'm showing. I never do that. Let me grab something, guys. This is, starting out the show, I said I have a pretty wild weekend planned. I've talked about ultra marathon running before. It's one of my passions, and I actually signed up this weekend. I'm going to be running a 24-hour ultra marathon. It starts Sunday at 10 a.m. and it finishes Monday at 10 a.m. And hey, thanks Ethan for stopping in. And so I don't know how far I'm going to get. I'm hoping to get maybe 70 miles. Back in the day, it used to be 100 for me, but I'm on the comeback trail. So that's my weekend. It's supposed to be 91 degrees. So I don't know how far I'm going to get. That's pretty hot, but I'm going to give it a try. Not sleeping at night, to answer that question, is kind of where I used to run a lot. So nice Green Lantern stuff. I mean, and when you buy a collection, oh, am I entered? Does this qualify, Boy Who Had 7? I talked about, this was my story arc that I loved. I talked about The Walking Dead. So I did hit the contest highs, I think. But we'll finish up here. I got one or two more to show. I can't thank you guys enough. People taking out midday time to spend with me. Hopefully your holiday weekends are beautiful and safe and happy. I told Bad Avenger I hope he has at least a couple of ice cold beers. All right, guys. I'm going to call it there. I have never done a 37-minute video. I can't thank you guys enough. I'm going to pull this up front and center. Give The Boy Who Had 7 a look. He's got a great channel. Thank you so much. I want to do a shout out again. I talked about in the beginning on Big East and the New York Warriors auctions. Erod really helped me out on that. Thank you. Alex Comic Corner. So many great live shows right now. Bub's Comics and the Cold Ones and Bueller's Got shows. Support all these guys. I mean, the community is incredible. And anytime we get an opportunity like this, we should take it. So thanks to all you guys. Comic Book Brigade right here just commented. If you guys can, do me a favor. Sub them up. Vic does a terrific job. And they very worthy of subs, as all of you guys are. Yeah, thumbs up. But you know what? Ultimately, I just love spending time with you guys. So whatever it is, it is. And I appreciate you. So my problem is always signing off. I'm going to try to find that little X and sign off. Check out a movie. Runs a race. Yeah, there are a lot of ultra running movies out there. So it's cool. Guys, thank you so much. Silver Age Dave, I'm going to reach across the mirror and turn this thing off. You guys have a great Labor Day. Be blessed.